Mission 5, Fuel Exchange. Welcome to Lohr. A large aviation fuel train is inbound with a banker locomotive due to attach to the rear. So, hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dovetail Games, Train Sim World. Okay, head down the platform to watch the action, then climb into the leading locomotive, take charge of the train operating through the Lohr. There's a passenger train coming in, so I assume that way over there. Head down to the platform end, observe the back of the locomotive, see what's to do today. So, yeah, aviation fuel apparently. See if they're not enough to melt some beams. Yeah, I'm not going to make jokes like that, don't worry. Yeah, so welcome back to Train Sim World, welcome back to Main-Spessart Bahn. So, now. Let's see what our journey consists of today. So you've got a passenger train that just came to the station now. Just arrived. Here comes now the train. I've been on the finished one, the train there, that was a lot of fun. Interesting to see how the German ones. We can climb up the oh god, I've just been electrocuted and a horrible, horrible death. Oh god, no, that is bad. Someone should have warned me that climbing this would make me go straight into a pretty high voltage overhead power that. Okay, yeah, so here's that train. Connecting. So this mission going to be standing here and watching. And as much as I don't mind that, I'm just going to be standing here for a little while, waiting for something to happen. I've got another set of steps here we can climb actually. That one gives us access to the sides. Again, I just like that. You climb up the ladder, all looks good. Oh wait, I've just been shot with something like. How many volts would it be on an overhead line? I believe in the line underground something like 3,200. I'm not sure what's done on an overhead line rather than a fourth rail. And your view up here is pretty good. It's been snowing though recently, I must say. Where's the loco now? Coming up to the stationary points now. So you can change direction and move forwards. But yeah, actually, yeah, must say that this is also the final mission of the Main-Spessart Bahn. So 5 scenarios, which is like the average for most of the Train Sim World routes. Wouldn't mind a few more, as I keep saying, but that's how it works, I'm afraid. And so yeah, it's our final chance to really get a good view for this line. Although, as always, I'm always up for live streams. I'm always up to kind of mess around with these a little bit more in my own time. Stations, got a few people waiting actually. Not sure I didn't take the earlier train. Here comes the driver car now. Banker loco, and I presume that will be that, which we then drive for the majority of the service. Railway line. I like the fact that it actually details the snow out there as well. Attention that. Yeah. again. Figure out what this mission actually wants to do with us. It's a bit of a weird start, I will say, compared to other missions on the simulator. Not quite sure what we're meant to be doing. So, round down to the lead loco. Climb aboard. Battery will be behind us. Okay, it's a bit of a run off the platform, I will say. Take a step down. Carry on. Walk as far as the road. Yes, I can. Which would be a little bit less of a safety hazard than running on the side of the snow there. Oh gosh, I had to drop as well. Let's trod along the snow. Now. Go. Welcome. Sit down. Stand up again. Oh, we have to go for the battery this time. It's on the radio system. So that comes on. Release the brakes, ready to depart. That's press the parking brake release. Oh, there's another brake here as well. Oh no, it's just throttle goes up. Signals green, and make our way to Hagenbrücken in 6.8 kilometers. Alright, let's also actually set the reverser as well, so that goes forwards. Now I can repower him. So, finally, 7 minutes in. Gets to drive a train for a little bit. I presume that having the stopper car at the back means that we'll go to Hagenbrücken for splitting this train in half, going back in the direction. Slippery icy tracks today. Still slippage. Usual. Just realised there that the game volume was way too loud, so I had to adjust that so you guys now hear me properly. Yeah, so what I was saying was that this wet icy tracks today. I mean that wheel slippage is a thing that I do need to pay a lot more attention to ensure that the train doesn't quite derail or slip off too much. Braking as well, need to pay a lot of attention to. There's 6 kilometers to go to Hagenbrücken. I don't think there's any locos in front of us. I do check the map. There's a passenger service on the other track, but otherwise seems all clear for me. Yeah, I'll go right past the station and stop in front of it, similar to what the train did a moment ago. Where either we will split the train in half goes forward, half goes back, or we need to reverse somewhere. We'll see how it goes, because there is a reason that buffer car went there. Although we'll get explained that later. 60 kilometers an hour, not exactly the fastest train in the world. I will, however, use the service of AFB. If I did it right properly, sorry. No, throttle down, AFB up, then turn it on, and then set its speed limit and maximum throttle. Right, so now the train will have the automated systems keeping itself up to speed. All I need to do is just make sure that the signals stay green and the distance doesn't come too close. 5.3 kilometers to go now. Yeah, we're really not accelerating much at all for the rest of the service. Nothing really giving us much of a push. Either we're fairly heavy, which is fair enough, carrying something like 20 wagons of jet fuel, and this track condition really isn't optimal for what we're trying to do. If you look at even top of it, you can kind of see like how the reflection changes. As how the engine works, Unreal, and the way that I've programmed it, You have got like a wetness indicator, which kind of allows you to determine how slippery your tracks are. So that slightly changes the visuals, and with the snow as well, it kind of makes it a lot more slippier, which is something that the Simograph system will work directly with. It's a fairly smart system actually, I will say. Very good setup. Speed limit has dropped slightly, so lower the AFB as well. Well, that's going to really affect our speed in any way. I'm sure once we get to more of a downhill stretch track, this is 2.1% gradient, this rate. Does not help us as well. But once we get, like I said, once we get to more of a downhill stretch track, we'll have a bit more freedom to kind of work around that. Braking as well. Usually pretty good on this loco, and something I need to pay very good attention to. Probably actually start braking around 2 kilometers just for the sake of giving them a go, kind of try them out. But the Winter Wonderland scenery, is looking phenomenal. Now, if I go to actual free cam, I actually even need to go free cam. I mean, like, there we go. That's just looking beautiful. It really does. Hey, quick screenshot of that. Yeah, thumbnail sorted. But no, seriously, the whole setup, it's beautiful. It really is. I'll go to the free cam, and you've got the train below, the snowy valley just about visible in the background. I mean, minus the noise of the train wagons rolling down the track. If I were waking up to that, yeah, I'd be quite happy. I'd genuinely be really happy. It just looks great. Anyways, 2 kilometers to go now. We'll see what the rest scenario goes. Making up to 70 kilometers an hour. Fair play, we're getting some speed in now. Tunnel coming up. That will also definitely help with the speed in, since the wetness indicator does not quite affect it as much in tunnels, because this is now a covered area. So, Drawyah track, nothing really to slip on. Just a case of the speed limit now changing every once in a while. Inside tunnel tracks also does level out, so another way to see the speed boost for us. Yeah, there we go. Much more stable, increases speed. Although 1 kilometer to go, whether or not we want the speed is now another question entirely. So yeah, we'll cut down the throttle now. In fact, we'll deactivate AFB, and we'll start putting some brake on just to kind of help slow down. Whoops, set points there. Go for direct brake as well. You know, very much just sliding on tracks at this point. Put a bit of emergency brake in just for the sake of slowing down as well. And press U. Try and slow down with absolutely everything we've got on this train right now. And it's working. We are slowing. That comes off and that gets released. We will come to a halt. We'll just have to, whoops, we don't have passengers on there, fair enough. Power still active. AFB is off. Put a bit of throttle in. Nope, I'm going to have to reset the circuit breaker so that goes open. Pantograph, quickly lower it. Pantograph, raise it. Circuit open. Reset the master switch. And throttle should now go up. We'll check. Wiper, oops, not wiper, sorry. Emergency brakes released. Pantograph released. Release. Throttle off. AFB goes off. Yeah, that should be it really. Negative 0% amp. Okay, we'll do it the full way. So neutral that, break that. Nope, I want to set this to off. Let's cut the power to the train. So battery, press it. That's all power and train now off. Press it again for 4 seconds. Power and train on. That goes to neutral. This goes up, forward, brakes released, released, released. And yeah, the amp's now set to have some power in them. FB released that as well. Please. There we go. Amp's now increasing, and we'll get moving again. Slide down the track. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Producing power. But the wet track is not helping us at all. There we go. Slowly but surely get some movement in. I mean, we're at 100 meters from our stop point anyway, so it's not like it's going to particularly affect the rest of our journey. As long as we stop before the red signal is the main thing for me. Right, throttle lower now at 20. And we'll keep a hand on the train brake. Nope, we're now past stop point. Stick the brakes onto max. And that should, fingers crossed, count that. There we go. Signal's now green. And we need to... There we go. Good work. Argenbrook and Summit. Head back and uncouple the bank locomotive from the train. Oh, okay. I see what we had to do there. So because we're going uphill, we need the extra loco for power to help us up the hill. That's what a bank loco does. That explained that now. Thank you very much, Train Sim World, for teaching me that. Right, so yeah, because I did comment on the fact that we were going uphill and that we were struggling to get up. And so the aim of the bank loco is to give us the extra source of power from the rear and to help trains that are struggling to get up the hill and through the tunnel. So now we're on a level piece of track, we no longer need it. We can uncouple it and then operate the rest of the journey without it. That makes full sense now. So we'll head to the back, decouple that. Not quite sure why the operative in the back of that train can't decouple it for us, because it's just a long walk all the way to the end of the train and back. We'll just teleport when we do finish this bit. As much as I enjoy running in Train Sim World, I'm not going to run this much. Right, so uncouple you. And stop at location, Lohr Bahnhof, which is this way. Let's teleport to the front. And release the brakes. Green signal. Throttle in. So this stretch of track should now be downhill, or at least fairly level going downhill, so speed wise it shouldn't be much of a problem. Just getting off the starting line actually now seems to be the problem for us. Boy. Come on. Come on, train. Right, reset the throttle and push. Are we moving? We are moving. It's just not at all with any real gauge of speed. It's a slow start, but it will eventually pick itself up. Once we get the first couple of miles in, for the first couple of kilometres in, then we'll start to see train moving more. This icy weather is really not my safe zone when it comes to driving this train. Come on, Loco, you can do it. It's only 15 kilometers you have to struggle. 15 kilometers. Alright, there we go. Now we're getting some sort of basic acceleration in. I can imagine that, given the real world for a train driver. The moment it starts snowing, you're expecting a pretty bad day in the office to kind of figure out how you're going to get from anywhere to anywhere. Another train coming up. It's a freighter, although you get 2 locos taking the entire way, so count yourself lucky carrying new cars in. I presume, I know, I was going to say I presume going back to the start location, but no, you're just sitting here, basically. Alright, coming up to 30 kilometers an hour now, we shall turn on the AFB, just for the sake of throttle management. Have I done that right? And that's sitting down. There we go, FB on, throttle up, and set the speed limit. I was pressing the wrong key for that for a moment, so I was just questioning to myself, what on earth was I doing wrong? No, I was pressing the wrong key. So, now I've got a train managing its own speeds. We'll get up to the 40 kilometers an hour quite easily now, which was the initial speeds that the line was at for the station. And heading downhill, we should actually see some fairly good acceleration, especially as we continue going down. Although I now know for a fact that it will be 2 kilometers when I start braking, and if I get to a single kilometer at still a high speed, quickly switch on the emergency brakes, cut all power to the pantographs, and pray that will be stopping time. I'm sure there are so many better operatives out there who can just do this scenario without any issues at all. But if you want to see a disaster, that's why you come to Drawyah. Right, 14 kilometers to go. 62 kilometers an hour heading downhill. Check the signalling for any trains in front. The answer is no. Data games were not that evil to us. Thank you. That all looks good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Go right to the end of the line, I believe. Well, not quite to the end of the line. Comes to this service station down here. Is our accelerometer working? Yeah, it's working. I've just never quite understood why it keeps saying 0 at the bottom of that. 94. So yeah, that number's correct. That might actually be the signal speed for the safety features that we have got turned off. PZB, I presume that one is. Alright, coming up to 110 kilometers an hour now, so we are shooting now down the rest of this line. 13 kilometers. Top speed of this line is 130. We could do this in 10 minutes tops if we're lucky. Yeah, 10 minutes. Although that doesn't take into account the rest acceleration and well, yeah, the time it takes to get downhill and to brake as well. Maybe at 3 kilometers I should start thinking about it. There comes the other passenger service, saw on the map a moment ago. I don't think there's anyone on the other line in front of us after that, so you may be the last passenger service we get to see on the Main-Spessart Bahn. A little fast now. Let's give AFB snow braking a good run for its money. 124 kilometers an hour speed limit. We're going 126. And slowing down is absolutely minute. More signals also green, for the rest of the line also I should point out. So that won't cause any issues for us either. Yes, I think my plan of action will be at 4 kilometers. We'll set AFB to 20 kilometers an hour. Since at lower speeds we'll be able to manage our stopping a lot more manageable. Yeah, so at 4 kilometers we'll set it to 20, just kind of see how the train slows us down for the initial bit. Then I'll turn off AFB and switch to manual braking, which will be maximum from 2 kilometers. And depending on what speed we'll be at 1, we'll then determine what kind of brakes we'll use at the end of that. I could be doing that a little bit too late for all I know, maybe worth doing it from 5 kilometers out. We'll have to see what the track condition is like. Right, down to 80. You know what, speed managed slowing down actually isn't quite as bad as I was expecting. Speed limit's gone up to 100 again, so we'll put the AFB back up. But once the train knows what it's doing, I think it kind of like determines that the weather conditions aren't quite up to scratch. It will slowly update itself and adjust the braking and whatnot for it. So from 4 kilometers, that should be alright, my plan of braking. And like I say, worst case scenario, we would have the emergency brakes. Emergency brakes and prayer, as it would go in the US. In Germany, I think it's just emergency brakes and bratwurst. Brakes and bratwurst, there you go. And we'll start a new restaurant. I'm taking 50% commission for that name. And I demand every penny. Right, increasing speed pretty good. 8 kilometers to go. Track's fairly clear. Nice and white, bright snow. Hopefully as well, when I do go to Norway this weekend, I'll actually have a chance to see some snow for the first time in 20... Actually, no, I say that. There has been a fair bit of snow in London in 2019 so far, so... It won't quite be my first bit of snow, but while most of it has melted over there, some of it does stick around, so that'll be quite a bit of fun to look at. It should be pretty good. Weather around 10 degrees, although it meant to rain on Saturday. Fingers crossed, not too bad. But yeah, Norway, next country I'm off to visit. Quite excited for it, actually. Very excited. And it's Mother's Day, so we'll see what happens on Sunday, what time I get back. Right, is that another tunnel coming up? I believe... No. Sorry, no. Tunnels don't happen in this part of the line. It's just valleys and curving around them. There are 2 tunnels on this branch, from Alfschaffenburg to where it terminates. And they are both towards the Alfschaffenburg side of the line. 120, it's kind of managing that alright, although the braking is really juggling it on the speed limit. That is fairly harsh. I will say, yeah, 1920, 1920. The brakes keeps adjusting back, forth, just for the sake of slowing itself down. Definitely realise that the weather, the track, are not quite up in great condition. 5 kilometers to go. It may be worth going down to 20 now. Go to 40. We'll see what happens. Yeah, downhill track, and we are certainly not stopping anytime soon. 40 kilometers an hour this time, maybe our saviour. We'll even use the direct brake at apply. This has no effects on the AFB and main braking, so for the train it's just a case of extra slowdown. Actually, I've got another passenger service on the other tracks, so nope, you'll be the last one we get to see before the scenario comes to an end. 4 kilometers to go, 4 kilometers to go, 95 kilometers, so just under 100. In fact, if we keep it at 80 for now, not 85, 80. There we go. Yeah, so the line speed's now down to 100. I'm quite happy where we are at 80 at the moment. Got a bit of a road going down to the right, see a few cars going down that. Because again, with this scenario, Delta Games did actually fix the traffic and whatnot, so roads are a lot more populated than before. Not perfect yet, but we're getting there. We're getting somewhere, at least in Train Sim World. But yeah, coming to the end of this route now, I think we should start talking about the service itself, the trains it came with, just overall how Main-Spessart Bahn worked. Because for me, I think from the release there was just 1 or 2 problems that really kind of devastated the scenario as it was. It's not a bad route at all. I mean, it looks fantastic. The scenery in this probably is the best looking, but when it comes to actual like services, scenarios, and all that kind of stuff, this route just doesn't. It just doesn't feel as great as some of the other ones were. I think when it comes to German routes, Main-Spessart Bahn is not quite as good as Ruhr-Sieg-Nord. Sorry, Ruhr-Sieg-Nord. Sorry, I said that back for some reason. Yeah, Ruhr-Sieg-Nord is still for me probably the better German route. I mean, fair enough, didn't come with quite as many trains. This one has more locos and a bit more variation in the freight trains. But just the whole feel of the line and whatnot just doesn't quite feel as polished, if you know what I mean. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong. It's still a fun route to drive, and I'll definitely mess around with it in the future, especially with the other branches that we don't quite get to walk down. For example, for those who tuned into my live stream last week, I went down. Whoops, go away. I went down to the Aschaffenburg Süd branch, which is this station over here, and the modelling in that is fantastic. We've got a single platform here as well station. I can't remember the name of that one, but some of the modelling, especially around this station, was fantastic. It looks great, and that is something that I definitely have said is a shame that we never actually get to use this branch in any scenario, any mission, anything. So much of the route has just gone amiss. I mean, it could have been great for a bit more of a non-linear service, but it just doesn't. This route could, and it should have been so much more, but it's just... It's not that it feels half-finished. I mean, it wasn't. The route is definitely a full scenario with a lot going on in it. But it just doesn't feel like that they've done enough to it. It's like, yeah, it's complete. Yeah, it's there. But there could be a lot more behind it as well. There's a lot more that Dr. Games... I'm not sure if they chose to admit it or just didn't have the time to do it, or... I don't know what the politics within the company is like behind this line, but yeah, honestly, it just feels like there could have been a lot more going on with it that we do just miss out on as a whole. Got a set of points coming up now, so hopefully not too fast on that. High speed points, nicely done. 500 meters to go, so we'll put some max braking on there. We'll turn off the AFB, and we'll start slowing the train down for our halts now. We shouldn't require much brakes, which are coming in at quite a nice speed now. But yeah, as I say, it's not a bad route. Would I recommend it? For completionists, or for those who like this part of Germany, then yeah, go for it. I don't see why not. But for those who are looking for a German train route, and this might be their first one, I'd say look more at Main-Spessart Bahn as a second up. 'up. 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 ' RSN will still stay as my favourite German train map. And eventually I probably will kind of grow more into this scenario and route set as it is. As I say, it just needs to be a little bit more behind it where possible. We are moving, just again not a very fast pace with the acceleration. About 200 meters till we come to a stop, which is right. Oh yeah, it's just before the next red signal. So I'll say maybe 200 meters to go, maybe 15 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour, so kilometers miles per hour. Will be enough to keep us to the end. But yeah, I mean, even in this scenario right now, yes, it was fun to watch the automation in the sim worlds of the trains moving and connecting themselves and detaching and whatnot. I mean, that's all fine, but it just felt more of a stand here and watch while someone else drives rather than you do something yourself and drive a train. Like, honestly, out of all the scenarios, I didn't enjoy this one nearly as much as the others. And so it kind of just really... It's a bit of a low point actually for me, I'd say, in my opinion. It's just not quite there compared to others. And I think that's just how the whole Main-Spessart Bahn kind of sums up for me. It should be there. It could have been more. But it's just not quite there. Not quite there. Right, put a bit of braking, just kind of slowly manage it to a halt. 15 kilometers, 30 meters. And then bring train to a halt now, stop at location. There we go. Set train reverse neutral, parking brake on. That is that one. And then he'll be a disembark, I guess. Some shipments destined for the local industry. Head back on a couple of the rear 5 tankers. Oh boy, there's more to this mission, is there? I've got to run the entire length of the train again. Going on the platform just because this would be gritted and safer to run on than a live passenger railway track. Right, so head to the rear 5 tankers and then see what happens. Hang on, what's the local food industry got to do with jet fuel? Something doesn't quite add up. Dovetail, can you explain this, please? Why is the local burger company require Class A aviation fuel? Alright, 40 meters left to run. Like I said, we'll probably teleport back in once we are sorted. Exchange the normal driver to complete his duty. Hang on, where do you want us to go now? Not quite as fast at the front of the train. Is there someone waiting for us on the staircase there? Let's have a look, shall we? Do we have another train driver? Could be one of these guys. Well, that's just grand. Oh, we just came to a little gay couple at the end of the platform. But anyways, yeah, all jokes aside, Main-Spessart Bahn. It could have been more. It's not terrible, and it's not as bad as the American one. What was it? Northwest Corridor. But there could have been more behind it. There could have been more behind it. I think that just kind of summarises how the whole service went here. But yeah, I think now will be a good time to bring the Main-Spessart Bahn to an end. Go through stats quickly. Level 39 still, level 7 Main-Spessart Bahn with level 5.5.2. So 38 minutes to do, 27 kilometers driven, nearly 2 kilometers ran. Like, come on, this is a lot of walking on here. With 6,100 points in total. So, there you go, no more next scenario option because we completed them all. And that is the end of MSB. So if you guys enjoyed the little mini-series for this one, we'll see what the next DLC comes out for Train Sim World, what that one looks like. That's probably maybe a couple of weeks away, so we'll get a sneak preview for that. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like if you did, do subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a safe evening, and goodbye.